Hi everybody, my name is Anne. Thanks for tuning into Art on the Creek today. If you watched last week, then you'll know that this is video 2 of 5 of a series I'm doing on the Paul Rubens Floral Watercolor set. So today we are at Fika. It's a coffee shop right in my neighborhood, and we were met with a beautiful ladybug when we sat down. So why not? Let's paint the ladybug today, shall we? I've got a still photo of him or her and I can put a link to that in the description in case you guys want to paint along. But such a beautiful orangey red color. We've got some lovely colors in this floral palette, so let's get to it. I finally have my plein air kit down to a real science, and if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments because I can do a video about what I keep in my plein air kit. I know, pretty cool, huh? When Paul Rubens reached out to me and asked if I would review these things for you, I said absolutely, because I'm a huge fan of Paul Rubens Art Supplies. There is nothing of theirs that I've tried that I've been disappointed with, but their watercolors, first and foremost, I have recommended them for years to students who maybe don't want to get into a more commonly found professional brand that really costs a lot of money. These are priced very, very well, and if you look in the description, you'll find that the links that I have down there, the affiliate links, will give you a discount on Amazon. And there's also Prime Days coming up, July 8th through 11th, if you're an Amazon Prime member. So don't forget about that. And you can use these links here and get some discounts there with Prime. Also, on their website, they've got another discount down there for you. So make sure that you copy that code and paste it in case you do some shopping on the Lightwish website. And it's good on any of their art supplies there. So if watercolor's not your thing, but you really like Paul Rubens products, then you can go ahead and get whatever you like. I really love this paper. Let me talk about this paper for just a second. The book is very, very nice. It's bound in a faux leather, just the right size. You know, it's like 3.5 by 4.5 inches. And it has a bookmark. The pages you can see right there by my hand on the bottom of the page there. They're perforated, so in case you want to tear the paper out when you're done, it's very easy to do that. In fact, you could take this on a trip with you. There are 20 pages in here, and you could use it to send postcards home. If that's what you wanted to do, you could paint little pictures of the scenes of wherever you are and then tear it out, put a stamp on it, put the address on the back, and send it along its merry way in the mail to whoever you wish were there with you. I really do love this paper, though. It's just got such a nice flow to it. And when I go in here with this red, you'll see how wonderful this flow becomes. Now, the red that I'm using there is the Chinese red. It's a PR 254. And then I'm also going to mix it with some of the nickel yellow, the PY 150, that's already in the palette there from the last painting I did. And look at this beautiful flow. I love how the colors mix. We've got that real fiery orange yellow warmth underneath the red that we see when we think of ladybugs as being red. So that'll be our first wash. We'll go ahead and put this in, and then when we go back for a second layer, we'll go ahead and go in with a stronger red concentration. And that's another thing I want to tell you guys about these paints. They are all transparent in this palette. So whatever you're doing, you will have that great luminosity come through. And here we go in with a second layer, a second wash, and that red is just really mixing in with the color mix we have in there on our first layer. This is a wet and wet technique, and it's really just letting that color show through. To mix my dark for the black of the ladybug, I'm using ultramarine, and I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of Van Dyke brown. let's see, yes, the Van Dyke brown here, and it ends up making just such a nice dark. And the thing I like about mixing your own dark shade is that you can really create some nuances. You can have it lean more blue or more brown. If you have a burnt sienna, that's a real nice one to mix here. They have a yellow sienna deep in this set, as well as a cypress brown deep. And the last three paints in this set, the ones closest to the camera on the far left, they are the Cypress Brown Deep, Van Dyke Brown, and Burned Brown, and they are all a PBR7, but they do have some subtle differences. So play with this set. If you're new to it, play with it a little bit at first and see what kind of mixes you can get. Now, I was very pleased with the dark that I was able to mix here with these two. And again, it's the Van Dyke Brown and the Ultramarine. And I think I switched it up a little bit towards the end just to see what else I could come up with. But I really like how warm this black is that I was able to generate from these lovely mixes. And now you can see that the translucency that I was telling you about before on the red of the ladybug, how it's really coming through. You can really see all of the layers there. So let's just mix some more dark here and then we'll fill in her spots. Even though this is a dark that I'm mixing, I think you'll be able to see that it's still translucent. You know, and this is the other thing about painting in plein air that I wanted to share with you. Nothing has to be perfect. In fact, a lot of times I really enjoy plein air more than working in the studio because you've got your sketchbook, which is intended to be for practice, and you're out there fighting the elements. I've had a bug crawl across my painting. Here in Colorado, like I mentioned before, things dry very, very quickly and you have to work quickly. So if you are thinking about doing some plein air this month, especially for World Watercolor Month or anytime this summer, don't get hung up on making things perfect because you've got a lot to contend with the elements. Yeah, you've got some bugs, you've got changing weather patterns. It could start raining suddenly. That's the other reason that I really like that I've got these few small items to carry. This palette folds up quickly and it holds 24 half pans, really just the right size to bring. I've got my travel brushes here, and this tiny little sketchbook is just perfect. So in case I have to get up and leave quickly, I can do that no problem without having to worry about cleaning up a big area. You know, I have to correct myself, and I'm so sorry. I told you guys before that all of the paints in this palette are transparent. They are not. There's one that I'm using here for this remains of the spirea bush, the spent blossoms. I'm using the lavender violet, and that's a mix of PB29, PV3, and PW6. That PW6 is going to make this paint either partially opaque or partially transparent. Still, I'm really glad to have that one. In fact, that one and the cobalt turquoise are two of my absolute favorite paints in this set. So I'm really glad that those are included, and also that peach light, that's the one that's kind of a neon pink, like an opera rose. Really great. And you know, I have no complaints about any of these. In fact, when I was unwrapping these and swatching them, and I'll put a link to that video up in the corner so that you can see, and then at the end there will be a link to the playlist of my entire Paul Rubens series this month for 2025 for World Watercolor Month. But anyway, when I was swatching these out, I was very excited to see this pigment information on each of these paints because they use high quality pigments. These are paints that are meant to last. You guys, you really can't go wrong with this set. I'm loving using this paper, loving how the paint likes to layer on and I can see the layers underneath it. I'm really enjoying the flow of these paints, and I couldn't be happier to share this experience with you guys here today. I hope everyone is really enjoying World Watercolor Month. Don't stress it. Paint small, just enjoy yourself. If you want to follow along with the official prompts, of course, you can find that information on Instagram or on the World Watercolor Month website. I'll put some information about that in the description in case you're interested. But if you would like to just enjoy and paint whatever you like this month, of course, that is wonderfully okay too. I hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration of a ladybug sitting on a spirea bush with Paul Rubens watercolors. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye now.